Hey y'all, I'm about 3 videos behind, but life has been happening. But today's President's Day, okay? And the origins of President's Day was actually to honor the first president, George Washington. His birthday is February 22nd, and today's not the 22nd, but that's what President's Day originally was until they realized they wanted to really take the day to honor all the presidents. So in school, some of the things that I learned about George Washington was his role in the American Revolution, his contributions to the Constitution, the fact that he was a man of honesty and integrity. Like those are the things that I learned. I was also told, or we were also told, many of us, that he was one of the only founding fathers that freed all of his slaves. However, the research shows, or the facts show, that it was upon his death in his will, not when he was alive, and it had to actually be after the death of his wife Martha. But today we're going to really learn about how he perpetuated the ownership and the continuance of slavery in our nation. So today I think it's important for me to share some of the facts that we didn't learn in school about him on this President's Day. All right, let's start. So George Washington was an enslaver. At the time of his death, he personally owned 123 enslaved people. Together, he and Martha owned over 300 enslaved people. And in total, George Washington inherited, purchased, rented, and gained control of more than 500 enslaved people. George Washington also signed into law the Fugitive Slave Act. This was a federal law that required the capture and return of escaped enslaved people to their owners, even if they were found in a free state. George Washington and his wife, Martha Washington, schemed for 5 years to circumvent the law in Pennsylvania that required the emancipation of all adult slaves who were brought to PA for more than 6 months. During his presidency, the Washingtons designed and implemented a slave shuffle from 1791 to 1796, rotating his slaves out of Pennsylvania to evade the law. The Washingtons also worked to keep their enslaved people from learning of this law and their potential rights of freedom. When Ona Judge, a young woman enslaved by Martha Washington, escaped the executive mansion on May 21st, 1796, the Washingtons began a relentless pursuit to recapture her. They posted runaway advertisements advising vessels not to transport her, and they offered a $10 reward to any person, white or black, who would return her. Last fact, and there's so many more. George Washington's dentures were likely made from the pulled teeth of enslaved people. So, despite what the current administration is trying to do in erasing the reality of the conditions of Black people, enslaved Africans of the time, we will continue to stand in, to learn about and understand the truth, and celebrate the administrations like the one behind us, where we can honor and say Happy President's Day and thank you for working to keep our history alive and for standing in and being truthful about what really happened to us. So, again, Happy Black History Month. We are excellent people. Continue to learn about your history to improve your mental health outcomes. When you learn how great you are, it just makes you feel better about yourself. So have a great day, loved ones, and hopefully this will encourage you to dig a little deeper because it's so much more history than I have presented today. Have a great night.